Good evening. Welcome to Martinez Life. I'm Tom Greerty. Tony LoForte, the owner and operator of LoForte, is with us. Truly a character. Tony, how are you doing?
Now I'm a character.
Well,
thank you. And I thought I was a restaurateur.
You are a restaurateur.
Let's get this straight. This is my show. I'm letting you come on it.
Thank you.
Don't make me have to get someone else.
That's all right. Okay. But I wanted to ask you, you've been in the restaurant business a long time.
40 years.
40 years?
40 years.
Where'd you start?
I started out as a waiter in the Stork Club in New York. I had an Uncle Jerry who had several restaurants, and he knew Sherman Billingsley, and he got me a summer job as a second waiter, not the first waiter, the second. We worked in teams, and he got me a job there, and I loved the restaurant business. My father was a chef at the Waldorf Astoria, and
wow.
I was born to it.
Yeah, wow. Waldorf Astoria, of course, for people that don't know, is one of the most famous hotels in the world in Midtown Manhattan, around 50, I would say, yes. Lexington. So, and your father was a chef there, and the Stork Club is a famous club. I don't think it's in existence any longer.
No longer in existence.
I love New York, and
yes.
I go there frequently. My wife is born there. Carmine's, that's a great restaurant.
It's a wonderful, wonderful place. Unfortunately, it's not what it used to be.
Yeah, with the tourism part.
Tourism does that.
Yeah.
The more the tourists come, the less the quality.
Good location, though.
Wonderful location. Wonderful location.
And you have a great location, right? You're in Pleasant Hill, and don't you think that's a great location?
Well, it is now because the neighborhood grew up around us.
Yeah.
But at one time, we were off the beaten track. We are not Walnut Creek.
No, no.
You see, when people think of Walnut Creek, they think of Walnut Creek as a destination. When they think of Pleasant Hill, they think of the downtown area as a destination, not up Gregory Lane where we are.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's a little off the beaten track, but nevertheless, we get our share.
Yeah, you do very well. And you have a big banquet business.
Yes.
And you've had that for a long time.
Long time.
I remember going to your place, well, your first place. I think it was your first place,
yes.
wasn't it?
Yeah, the dungeon, the old bordello.
It was really something. What was the color of the rug?
Crimson.
Crimson, yeah.
Crimson.
Was all one color, 3-4 colors?
I'll tell you that. I'll make this quick.
Yeah.
Years ago, in downtown Brooklyn, there was a place called the Hotel Granada, and they had the gondola room, and it was a place where the fellas used to hang out. So when I decided to open LoForte, I went there, took some pictures, the black and gold flock wallpaper, the large high-backed red booths with the serpentine tuck and roll, the Tiffany lamps. I think it was, there was nothing that matched in a place.
No.
But it was fun.
Yeah.
And I laugh about it today because we had rooms upstairs, sideways, this way, and every room had a name. The room to the side was the middle room. The big room was the big room.
Yeah.
Up straight was up straight, up left, up right, the office. It was fun.
Yeah.
We were all young. And
I remember the first time I went there. It was really quite a place. And of course, your new place is a much more updated, I would say.
Tuscan, more Tuscan
It's
villa.
More Tuscan villa. That's a good way of putting it, But still the big banquet rooms.
Yes. We have 3 40 by 30s that'll open up into one large one.
Yeah.
That'll let us seat 300 people.
Yeah. Wow.
Yes.
So you're Sicilian, though?
Yes. All 4 grandparents from Palermo.
Palermo, Marron.
Don't start.
Don't
start.
No, okay. And you were from Brooklyn?
Brooklyn.
Yeah, Brooklyn. But how far from like the Brooklyn Bridge or Coney Island or something like that? I've been to Brooklyn. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Lovely, lovely place. When I was raised in, I spent my summers there because I went to school in upstate New York. But it was, all the streets were tree lined, and it was just a lovely, lovely place to grow up. And we were about 12 miles from Coney Island.
Okay.
And it was just, at that time, Coney Island was just it was a magnificent place for summer fun.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it has changed.
It's a bit more seedy, to put it mildly. Although down by Henry Street, Down by the bridge, that's coming back.
That's all been a part of a new reconstruction project.
Yeah, that's all coming back big time down there. The old by Henry Street, right by the water and the bridge going over. So your dad worked in Manhattan. You began working in the restaurant business. But what's this stuff about going to school in upstate New York?
Well, when I was a young man, for a grammar school, the war was on. My father served in the merchant service, and my mother was an officer in the Signal Corps.
Oh.
So we went to a boarding school in Tarrytown with the Sisters of St. Francis. And then for my high school...
God rest their soul. They must have been stalwarts to keep their eye on you and your buddies.
I was a good kid. And then I went to Peekskill Military Academy in Peekskill, New York, which had the reputation of, at the time, of being the finest preparatory school in the United States.
Wow, you got good training.
Yes, so when I came to Cal, I didn't have any problems at all. It was just
University of California, Berkeley.
At Berkeley, yes.
But didn't you go in the service or something? I'd heard that you were in the service.
I was in the service from 56 to 60. I was in the Air Force Intelligence branch. I worked for NSA.
NSA?
Yeah, at Fort George G. Meade in Maryland, and I also worked in North Africa and in Crete and in Germany.
Wow. So you got some secrets.
I'd like to tell you, but I'd have to kill you then. You've heard that already, though. You knew that was coming.
Well, but I mean, you know, you were in a security position and
communications intelligence.
Yeah, so you've acquired knowledge about certain things, but you got out of the service. You served your country, and thank you for doing that.
You're
you
welcome.
got what appears to me a very interesting background, where you're from Brooklyn. You have this Sicilian background, parents on both sides, probably raised with the language.
Yes.
Do you speak Sicilian?
I speak Italian.
You speak Italian.
I love you have the Sparacinos, who are wonderful, wonderful Martinez people.
Right.
Whenever they come into John and his sister, one passed on, rest her soul.
That's right.
When they come in the restaurant, he speaks Sicilian. I just howl.
Yeah.
He takes me back to being a child.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, you get to speak some Sicilian. So you're raised with that, and then you go to school in upstate New York where you receive a lot of discipline.
Yes.
Yeah, discipline.
Yes.
Were you a good student?
Excellent student.
No kidding.
Excellent.
So you end up at Cal after the service, and is that how you discover the Bay Area?
Well, when I got home in June of 1960, I wanted to see California.
Okay.
So I jumped in the car, came to California. We went to Berkeley.
Yeah.
And while I was in Berkeley, I discovered the University of California there. And it was interesting, so I sent for my transcripts. And lo and behold, they accepted me. Shame on them.
Right, yeah.
And I loved it there. And then when I got my education, I graduated from San Francisco Law School in 1973. And I was going to go back, but I thought that I owed California. I got my education here.
Yeah.
And I thought that I should do something here.
A noble cause, a noble cause.
Yeah, no, well, it's so many people take and put nothing back.
Yeah.
Don't do that. You know, always put something back.
So what year does Zio Fredo's come to be?
On Columbus Day, 1975, Zio Fredo's opened for its first meals. And were they beauties? Oh.
With the veal flowing over the sides and everything, right? Yeah.
Yeah. If it could mess up, we did.
The Caesar salad at the table and everything.
Oh yeah.
The flame with the lime.
Sure.
Yeah, the flame thing and
Yeah,
the whole 9 yards.
Nearly burn yourself down.
That's right. Now, Zio, your uncle, Freddie.
Yes.
He's your mother's brother, born or not born, but raised. Lives in St. Louis.
St. Louis, yes. Same. Wonderful, wonderful man. You met him today at the restaurant.
I did, yeah.
Yes.
And so he's still alive, and he was there at the beginning with you.
Yes, and I named the restaurant after him.
So he must have been very fond of your mother's brother.
He's a wonderful man.
Yeah.
He's a wonderful, wonderful man.
And he worked the restaurant with you.
Yes, yes. He handled the bar end, and I handled the dining and the food end.
Yeah.
And we were something else.
Oh, yeah.
We were something, a hell of a combination.
Yeah. And so did you cook in those early days, or
Sometimes.
some of the restaurants
Sometimes.
and develop it and everything?
Sure.
Yeah. And you were more a little further west or north than where you are now. Just a little, the next lot over, weren't
Yes,
you?
where Walgreens is now,
Yeah.
that's where we were.
Yeah, the pet store before was there
Yes.
next to you. Yeah.
Yes. It was Ziofito's.
Ziofitos.
Yeah.
But now your son has a restaurant in Vallejo.
Vallejo, yes, and he's doing a wonderful, wonderful job. He was with me for a year, and I guess that's all he could take.
Yeah, right.
And he struck out on his own, and he found a place in Vallejo, and he's doing just a wonderful job. I'm very, very proud of him.
Yeah, he's in Vallejo near the water.
Right on the water.
Now,
Sure.
is that called Ziofredos or Zios?
That is Ziofredo's of Vallejo.
Of Vallejo. You're franchising.
Yeah, we're franchising.
Now, he was a terrific football player at Alhambra.
He played for the Alhambra championship team under, God, my mind is
Coach
turning.
Silvera.
Coach Silvera, also a wonderful
Yeah,
man. They were
Coach Charette, too,
Yes,
was on the line coach.
the whole gang.
And the two Cacavos.
Yes.
The Coconuts.
Yes.
The two Coconuts.
Yes, and the Martinez is
Yeah.
a wonderful place, and they have wonderful people.
It's been good to you.
Oh, and I like to think that I've been nice.
Yeah.
I've been good for them.
Yeah.
But I love them.
Oh, yeah.
They're just very, very special people, and I love to see them when they come into the restaurant. As a matter of fact, this weekend I'm doing, I believe it's the class of 71 or 91. My son's class reunion is going to be at Ziofredo's.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Ziofredo's in Pleasant Hill,
Vio's-
not Ziofredo's in Vallejo.
No. Well, they don't have the banquet facilities.
He's building
like
one right now.
He is. So he's a
building one
mover
right-
and a shaker.
Well, he's trying.
Yeah, he's trying. Now you have three other children.
I have Michael, who's my oldest, who's a superintendent of F. Rogers Insulating Company. I have a daughter who's, I guess, a foreman or a superintendent for Safeway stores in the bakery division. I have Anthony, who's at Ziofredo's, and I have my youngest, Catherine, who's studying for a master's degree now in psychology.
Yeah. How has the food business changed over the years? Your dad's at the Waldorf Astoria, and perhaps maybe the integration of Italian food into it. Italian food, maybe in New York, was always there, but not out here. You know, I remember Pastorini.
Yeah, a type of Italian food. I've eaten in there one time, and just to see what it was like, it wasn't bad. But it's not my kind of food.
Mello's is down the other part of.
Wonderful. Carmelo is a wonderful, wonderful person. Makes good pasta, good pizza, treats his employees like gold, and is just a real human being.
Oh, it's nice to hear.
It's the truth.
Yeah.
It's the truth. He's a wonderful, wonderful man. A wonderful man.
Some of your employees have been with you a long time.
Yeah.
What did some over 20 years?
Yeah, 27, 28 years.
And you had
Because I treat them poorly.
Yeah, you treat him poorly. You had that bartender, the Sal Fusilli, was there for a long time. He was at the old place.
The Prince.
Yeah.
I used to tell Sal, who was a wonderful, God rest his soul.
Yeah.
I used to tell Sal, now Sal, there's no drinking on the job.
Yeah, you got to be
And
strict on
strict. And he was the day bartender. And the
Yeah.
bar was always packed. And he says, no smoking behind the bar. And he'd say, listen, boss, I'm telling you the truth. I'm not drinking except this glass of wine that I'm having with my lunch, and only this cigarette here that I'm smoking now. So what do you say to him?
Yeah,
You laugh and you raise your hands, you walk away, and he giggles.
Yeah, what a character.
Oh, just a wonderful
Sal
man.
Fusilli.
Sal Fusilli.
Yeah, Fusilli.
The industry was filled with people like that at one time.
Yeah.
Now we have pass-throughs.
Oh, really?
This one is studying to be this. This
Yeah.
one is studying to be that.
Yeah.
And they all work in the restaurant so that they can say, not in my place, but they can say, well, I worked my way through college in the restaurant business.
Yeah. Whereas in the old days, being a waiter
Was a profession.
Was a profession. Yeah.
That's right.
It was a profession.
And a proud profession.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, I worked as a waiter for many, many years.
Yeah.
And it's a very, very proud profession, and we made good money.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
We made more then than they're making today.
No kidding.
For sure, we were in the heyday of restaurants.
And then you had a little setback. You had a little Bell's palsy, but you physically overcame that. You seem to have made a great recovery from that.
Sure.
And that's not an easy thing, the little cross to bear there.
Well, I was very fortunate that God didn't send me a stroke.
Right.
It was Bell's palsy, and I'm still paralyzed on my right side, and I'm speaking out of the left side of my mouth. But I always spoke out of that side of my mouth anyway. So it's, you overcome.
Do you ever get back to the home country, the mother country, and back in Brooklyn and New York anymore? You got family there?
They're all gone.
They're all gone.
They're all gone. My mom just passed on. My brother just passed on. My pop's been dead, 50 years. He died at 39.
He died at 39.
Yeah.
So he worked hard.
No, he served in the Atlantic.
Oh, okay.
And he served in the Pacific. He came home, got his job back, and got pneumonia and died.
Now I've got your menu. I picked up your menu when we were going to do this interview here, and I want to ask you, the veal. Now, why did the Italians like this veal so much? You've got veal Marsala, veal piccata, veal Oscar, veal Parmesan, veal Milanese, veal saltimbocco.
Saltimbocco means jumps in your mouth. Because it's tasty.
It is tasty.
It is tasty. It's light and it's delicate, and it has a nice little flavor, and it picks up the flavor of the sauces real well. And if you know how to handle veal, it can really be a great tasting dish.
Yeah.
And we also have.
You mean handle it with the knife and fork?
No, handle it cooking it.
Oh, okay.
This is an old-fashioned style menu, and people tell me that I ought to get more in trend. My idea of being in trend is not just putting a little cheese on salad. That's what some places do, and they think they're in trend. We use a lot of dishes that have the tenderloin, the filet mignon.
Yeah.
Many places don't handle filet mignon anymore. Many places don't have porterhouse steaks.
Yeah.
Because they're so expensive to carry, and if you don't sell them, you waste them.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
The pepper steak, is that still sell?
Yeah, New York peppered steak, sure.
That's a good steak.
It's a nice steak, very flavorful. If you like that kind of the peppercorn.
Yeah. And the appetizers, of course, the calamari is still, people like that.
Yeah, they like that stuff.
Yeah, they do. And the salad, do you still do the Caesar at the table?
Yes, Caesars are still done. Caesars are still done at the table.
How about the flaming thing? I remember the old days at
We're going to bring that back. We're going to bring that back. As a matter of fact, it's funny you should ask that.
This is an old-time menu here. The big one, and everything.
Yeah.
Steve, we got that on the air? A little bit anyway, huh?
We didn't discuss this at all before. I just ordered a new flaming cart so that we can make the steak Diane and the fettuccine Alfredo at the table and the crepe Suzette, the cherries Jubilee, like we did in the old days.
The cherries Jubilee.
Yes, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun.
And for a while there, you had the boxing.
Yes.
Occasionally.
We had boxing one time at the new place, and we've been busy with so many other things that we haven't had a chance to put that on our venue. But so many people have asked for it. I'm going to go down to the city of Pleasant Hill and ask them if I can get a permit to have the boxing again.
So you got to have the permit from the city.
Yes. In the old days, we just did it. There was no problem. Now you have to have a permit. You have to have police officers, security, and we never had any problems. We never had any problems. You have to
No,
have a
just-
special insurance policy.
Well, you'd got the Terry Lee or the Gracies or somebody
yes,
to handle that for
yes,
you, right?
yes.
Not just two guys show up. It was all organized.
Oh, it was orchestrated.
Yeah,
Yes,
right.
yes.
With the ring and everything.
Yes, and it was great.
Yeah, people like that.
It was like Pabst Blue Ribbon Friday night at the fights.
What did they do? 3 rounds?
Three-minute rounds.
Well, that's a pretty good workout.
Yes,
yeah.
three
But it's
3-minute
still at
rounds.
the same time. Yeah.
Sure.
Nobody gets hurt. And then I got to say this, I'm not to put, but you are located at the bottom of 2 famous cemeteries. So you get
Yes.
a lot of celebration of life.
A ton. A ton.
Yeah, you get a lot of that, don't you? I've been to your place a lot of times. For
2
that.
a week.
2 a week?
Yes.
Marron.
Yeah, I know. It's tough work, but someone's got to do it.
And a lot of that's buffet.
Yes. Yes, because you serve a buffet because you don't know how many people are really going to show up.
Yeah, that's an unknown number, isn't it?
That's right.
So the people give you a possibility.
Yes, they give you an in-the-area number, and you make sure that you have more,
Yeah.
just to make sure.
Yeah, you
The
plan
worst
for
thing
them.
you want to do is run out of food.
Yeah, I've been at some good ones at your place though, where the food was delicious. There was plenty of it, and they had drinks that people wanted or whatever. And it's a nice atmosphere. It's a good way to top off kind of an emotional thing.
Yes.
You know,
We serve and fill a need.
Yeah.
It really is needed.
Yeah.
That after a traumatic experience like that you can come to a place that brings so many people together, and we really do embrace them.
Yeah.
You know.
And you're right down the hill from Queen of Heaven and
Oakmont.
Oakmont. Yeah, you're right down the hill.
Yes.
So it's easy. Plus, you're right up the street from Christ the King.
Right across the street from Christ the King. The Christ the King are just wonderful, wonderful, wonderful people. I remember Monsignor Wade, rest his soul. He
Yeah.
was a wonderful man who tried to break your hand every time he shook it. And not to say that the people from St. Catherine's in Martinez
Yeah.
are not wonderful people, but I know a ton of people because they used to belong to the old Irish club.
Yeah.
That would come over to Zio Fredo's and have their parties there.
Sure.
But they really, really are a very, very supportive
Yeah.
group, you know. It's nice to have that. They've offered me parking and many things like that. And on special days, they use my facility for parking.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
For a little extra.
Yes,
Yeah, because you're kind of open days when they're not open.
exactly.
And the
exactly.
opposite.
One hand washes the other.
Yeah. So what's your favorite pasta?
Mine? I just pasta with a red sauce. I'm a very, very simple eater. For me, a meal is just a plate of pasta and a salad.
My wife's family's originally from Bari, on the Italian side.
Yes.
And sometimes they make a pasta with the noodle, and they put anchovies with it, and they put broccoli with it, and the breadcrumbs they cook in garlic, and then they put that over. The thing's unbelievable.
Amudiga, that's called amudiga, the
Amudiga.
breadcrumb. The breadcrumb. The Sicilians make a dish like that, except they use sardine and finocchia and capers, and then they pan fry the breadcrumbs, the mudiga, and they put it on top. It's a delicious dish. If you like anchovy or
Right.
sardine,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
Me, I just like plain red sauce, maybe with a little sausage in it.
You like the sausage in it?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's
The-
good.
The fennelled sausage.
Yeah.
What do you like?
My wife makes a beautiful red sauce, but here's what she does. She puts a tomato, she puts a little olive oil in, cooks the garlic, puts some parsley in there, then the tomatoes.
Yes.
Whole tomatoes.
Yes.
And then she cuts them a little bit, and she lets that cook a little bit, real hot, and then she'll put in the green
Basil.
basil, and that's it. Salt and pepper. That's it.
That is it.
That is. I'm not kidding.
That's the way I make my sauce. That is it.
20 minutes. And then if it's sunny, she lets it cook a little longer and
Longer.
fills the house, right?
Yeah, you know, that's everyone is with the oregano and the
Yeah.
thyme.